"Sir, step aside. This is an official HOA inspection." That was the first thing out of his mouth. No good morning. No can we talk. Just that barked order, like I was some rookie reporting for duty at his little boot camp. There I was, standing by the fence with my coffee still warm in my hand, looking at 6 men in matching blue shirts that said HA Inspector across the back. Looked less like neighbors and more like a squad of wannabe stormtroopers, trying way too hard to play soldier in a suburban field. I set the mug down on the fence post, kept my movements slow and calm, and just told him, "This is private property. You don't cross that line without a warrant." The tall one with the tattoos, the kind of ink that crawls up both arms like vines, he smacked his clipboard against the gate as if it was a weapon, his sunglasses throwing the morning sun right back at me. And behind those mirrored lenses, I could feel him grinning, just itching to pick a fight. "Bylaws authorize us to enter and ensure compliance," he said, as another guy with a stitched badge on his shirt tapped at it like it was real metal. "But cloth patches don't carry the weight of law." I knew it, and so did they. But what they were counting on, what they always count on, is you not pushing back. That's when Leah's voice carried over from the porch, clear and steady. "You'll need to turn around. This land is ours. You don't have the authority." And for a second, everything went still. The only sounds were the windmill creaking and the horses shifting their weight out in the pasture, the inspectors spreading out just enough to make a point, setting a perimeter like they were about to breach a compound. My gut went tight. I've seen that look before. Finally, the tattooed one leaned in close enough for me to smell his cheap cologne and muttered, "We'll be back. Next time, it won't just be paper." They loaded up in their SUVs and left a cloud of dust hanging in the air, the kind that settles heavy, like a warning shot. Leah came down and slipped her hand in mine. Her palm was warm, but her pulse was going, and I knew right then. This wasn't about a fence hinge or a gate latch or the damn color of the floodlight above the barn. It wasn't about bylaws or property values. It was about control. They weren't testing the property. They were testing me. It all started weeks earlier, little slips of paper showing up, homeowners association violation notice. At first, it almost felt like a joke, a fine for a fence rail too weathered, a complaint about the angle of our chicken coop, a warning about non-compliant perimeter lighting. Leah had read the first one out loud at the kitchen table, shaking her head. "Maybe they just want all the fences to look like they came from the same catalog," she said, trying to laugh, but I couldn't. Because I've seen that kind of language before, polite on the surface, loaded like a weapon underneath. And those notices kept coming. Each one a little sharper. Each one with a fine. Never enough to kill you at once, but enough that together, it felt like someone was tightening a screw. I wanted to ignore them. God knows I tried. I'd come here to heal, not to fight. But the thing about men who've seen too much war is you recognize a siege when it starts. That morning at the gate sealed it for me. Those blue shirts, boots crunching gravel, shoulders squared. It yanked something out of my past I thought I'd buried. When Leah squeezed my hand, I could feel she sensed it, too. The fear, the edge, the ugly thing coming down the road you can't stop with kindness. I looked out over the land at the fence lines. Lines I thought were clear, lines meant for peace, not war. But lines don't defend themselves. Men do. Still, I tried to handle it like a neighborly dispute. File a complaint, call the county, pretend these were just overzealous volunteers with nothing better to do. But deep down, I knew better. A storm was building. "You're not allowed on our land without a warrant," Leah told them that morning. Her voice was tight, the way a fuse sounds before it burns out. The sun was barely up, slanting gold across the drive, when I saw them. 2 inspectors at the gate, tactical polos a size too small, smugness hanging off them like a badge. One with a clipboard, the other with nothing but tension, muscles twitching for permission. "We're authorized to enforce code compliance," the short one said, tapping his fake badge. "For a hinge." Leah snapped, standing her ground. The tall one stepped forward, boots scraping gravel, hand twitching at his side, ready for something. "Last warning, ma'am." Leah didn't flinch. "Not resisting," she said, "just disagreeing." And then it happened. No warning, no signal, just a sudden swing. His fist cracked across her cheek, so hard I heard it over the wind. She hit the gravel hard. I dropped my mug and ran. But it was already over, blood on her lip, palm scraped raw, I unable to focus. She wasn't crying, and that made it worse. "She got physical," the tall one said. I responded with appropriate force. Appropriate? The word came out of me quieter than I meant. My fists clenched, but I didn't move. Couldn't. I froze, chest tight, pulse roaring. I wanted to lunge, but my mind went somewhere else. 8 years old, kitchen linoleum cold, my mother at the stove, the silence before the explosion, the voice that says, "See what you made him do." That silence froze me then, and it froze me now. Leah looked at me from the ground. "You saw that," she said. I nodded. "So why the hell didn't you stop it?" Before I could answer, another voice rang out. "Now hold on. I said you all needed to punch up your bylaws, not punch people." Walt, my neighbor, shirtless on his porch, binoculars in one hand, cereal bowl under his arm. "Leah, you good?" She nodded, just barely. The inspectors turned and left. That's when the SUV pulled up, custom plates, HOA sticker. Out stepped Karen. If Botox and litigation had a baby, it'd look just like her. She looked over the scene, Leah bleeding, me frozen, and gave us a look like you'd give expired yogurt. "I assume you'll want to file a complaint. The board's email is on the newsletter. Check your spam folder." Then she tapped her phone and left. That night, I sat on the porch, bourbon by my boot, knife in my lap, the gravel still disturbed. Walt showed up around midnight, 2 beers in hand. Tapped into their HOA comms. "They're calling you non-compliant. Want to hear the codes?" We drank in silence. "Sometimes it's not the punch that breaks you," he said. "It's the one you didn't block." He left me under the stars, hands white-knuckled around the knife, just needing something sharp to hold. You can tell a lot about a person by how they show up after violence. Karen didn't show up to comfort or calm, just to manage the narrative. Later, Walt crossed the road, cereal bowl still in hand. "You ever notice how the people who scream about rules are the ones who think they're above them?" He didn't wait for an answer. "She's not scared of you. She's scared of losing the illusion she's in charge. Question is, Mark, how long are you going to let her write the script?" I sat with that question a long time. Leah moved into the guest room. I sat on the porch with bourbon and a knife, staring at the sky, wondering if peace is something you get to keep or something you have to defend every day. 2 days later, a skinny teenager in a neon vest handed me another violation notice. This time, a $275 fine if the gate hinge wasn't adjusted in 72 hours. I left it on the counter. Leah picked it up, read it, and didn't say a word, just iced her jaw and moved through the kitchen, silent and detached. Next morning, more inspectors circled the property, clipboards and sunglasses, writing notes, waving at me like we were old friends. Walt read a ticket across the road. "Reflective glass may cause community glare disruption. Guess that means I'm shining too bright," he said. I cracked a smile, but I could see it now. This wasn't random. It was a campaign. Every notice, a brick in the wall, every patrol a reminder. That night, I sat in the barn, reading through every notice, looking for a loophole. Through the window, I saw Leah pass by, arms crossed, not slowing down. I found her on the couch, braiding her hair. "I need to fix this," I said. She didn't look up. "No, you need to decide who you are." Then she turned up the TV one notch, conversation over. The next morning, Walt waved me over. A drone hovered overhead. He called it a perimeter scan, but what he caught was more than that. "Didn't mean to spy on you," he said, "but you need to hear this." He played back the audio. A voice, cold and flat. "Use the wife. He'll snap. He always does." That was Ray Dobbs, a guy I'd served with, a man who'd already lost his soul. Now he was working for Karen, setting the trap. Memory hit me like a bullet. Afghanistan, wrong place, wrong time. Ray moving before the go order, 2 bodies down. Me writing the report that ended his career. Now he was here, standing at my fence, baiting me. "You think Karen knows who she's hiring?" Walt asked. "Either she knows and doesn't care, or she cares and likes it," I said. That night, something broke loose in me. I walked the fence line, saw the scuffed boot prints, a snapped branch, wire bent. Then impact, a blow to the jaw, then another to my ribs. Ray stepped out of the shadows, flanked by a rookie bruiser. Fights like that, you don't win. You just survive. We hit the dirt, rolled, pain everywhere. At some point, the past collided with the present. Ghazni, that kid with a pot lid, Ray's voice, my voice, the bodies falling. This time, I snapped back. Training over panic. I got the upper hand, left Ray coughing in the dirt. Leah saw it all from the house, Saw the violence, saw who I became. That's not the man who didn't stop them, she whispered. She turned and walked away, door closing soft. That hurt more than any blow. I sat in the dark, staring at the blood on my shirt, realizing they hadn't broken me. They'd just taken the brakes off. The next day, I fortified the ranch. Bells, cameras, sensors, tripwires. Walt helped, silent and grim. That afternoon, Karen showed up with Ray and a new bruiser. They walked right into my traps. Static, sirens, nets, flash cans. Ray was tangled, the rookie blinded and soaked. Karen on her knees, hands over her ears. I walked up slow. You crossed the line, I said. You set a trap. No, I told him. I built a boundary. You chose to ignore it. Karen tried to pull authority, but I cut her off. Not anymore. You're on my land now. She backed away, the rookie crawling, Ray writhing, and Walt climbed down from the loft with a grin, cattle prod in hand. Karen left, humiliated. But inside, Leah saw the whole thing. You didn't freeze, she said. No, but you didn't blink either. She turned away, the door closing, not slammed, just final. I realized what I'd built wasn't revenge. It was a warning, to them and to me. I thought it was over. I was wrong. Next morning, a video showed up online. Me standing over Ray, boot on his chest, no context, no Leah's bruised face, just chaos. The HOA made me the villain. Lawsuit for $75,000. By noon, the news was calling me Rancher Rambo. That night, Leah asked, "Did you protect us, or did you bait them?" I didn't have a good answer. But I fought back, not with fists, but with facts. Walt gave me every raw file, timeline, GPS. Leah's cousin Mia, a civil rights attorney, took the case. We countersued, unlawful trespass, impersonating law enforcement, use of force under fraudulent authority, defamation by edited footage. In court, Mia played the full video. Leah at the gate, the punch, the plan. The judge slammed the gavel. Permanent injunction. HOA action suspended. Case dismissed. Karen resigned. Ray vanished. The neighborhood went quiet. The American flag went back up, and for a while, it was almost peace. Walt sat with me on the porch. You used to wait. You used to freeze. Now you draw the line. That night, Leah came home. Do you ever miss who you were before all this? She asked. No, I said. I think I finally became who I was supposed to be. She didn't argue. She just sat beside me, quiet. And as the gravel road stretched out quiet under a wide Texas sky, I realized this wasn't vengeance or rage. It was clarity, not just a warning to them, but to myself. Enough is enough. You know what I mean? So tell me, where's the line for you? Did I go too far? Or not far enough? Drop your thoughts below. Because justice out here, well, sometimes it's just a matter of drawing the line and daring the world to cross it.